the hero's journey that we're all on is taking place in a story and on a landscape that, not everything is what it seems. There are creatures in our story that will pretend to be your friend and your guide. I mean, we see this in all of the Disney classics, right? Why she bites the apple from, some haggard looking, it's a witch, don't eat it,
right.
or,
Yes.
Pinocchio runs away.
Scar and the Lion King.
I mean, it's just over and over and over are these good versus evil. And, Disney's built an empire on good versus evil.
Some of those were scary.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Pinocchio? They turned the little boys into donkeys? That terrified me.
Well, the one that scared the crap out of me was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
What do you mean?
Dick Van... Oh, this guy drives up in the center of a square. All the children are hiding.
Uh-huh.
And he drives up in the center of a square, and he pretends to be the ice cream man, basically. The candy man.
I don't remember this at all.
Where are you, little children?
Oh my gosh.
I've got snacks and sweeties.
All I know is remember of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is that stupid song that gets in your head.
It'll scar you.
With God, there is always more. More love, more life, more freedom. Welcome to Zoweh's Exploring More with Michael Thompson. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "Our Heavenly Father has provided many delightful inns for us along our journey, but He takes great care to see that we do not mistake any of them for home." Join me and the team as we explore the kingdom together, discovering the deep truths and offering encouragement for the journey. There is always more.
Welcome, friends and allies, to the Exploring More podcast. Michael Thompson hanging out with SJ in the new set for season 5.
New set, new hoodie.
New set, new hoodie.
Yeah, man.
Things keep changing, man. Even another couple new props and tables for.
Yeah, we didn't like that other table.
There was too much separation,
too much between us.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So too much between us, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're we'll keep messing with the set, but we are a clarity from last episode. We talked about season 5, how many episodes? We thought around 300 something, 377. This is episode 377. And probably the first, how many do you think? 275, maybe 300 were just audio.
Yeah, I don't know when what the first one was.
The old podcast format.
Yeah, we just were doing audio podcasts.
You just did audio before we went into
somebody had
the
the great idea that we should be on camera. And some are thankful for that.
Some are.
Yep. So
it's fun when we were in Baltimore, you and I, at Mike Rollo, our friends at Hum.
Yeah.
At the
Helping Up Mission,
the recovery space that they're in, and a guy comes up to you and you're SJ. I've watched every Exploring More podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, you're my new hero, man. That's incredible. What are you, a truck driver, or what? What do you do?
What do you do to listen to all of them?
Lawn care.
Yeah, man. Something. How do you find the time?
Right.
But yeah, a lot of folks on commutes, and we try to keep our episode length. I was talking to a guy about this actually yesterday. We try to keep he was asking me all about the podcast. I said we try to keep them about to commute time. So, most folks have a commute of some kind for work, and it's anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes.
Sometimes we're catching, some episodes are there and back.
Right. And there again.
Yeah, a little bit. So we are in the middle of a series on the map of darkness and light, this idea of a map and having some level. I like what you said last time about maps serve a purpose. People have gone out and surveyed and brought back these findings. Even if you're using Google or Apple Maps, you're still
Garmin.
Somebody has used something to triangulate and to have your car on that road and have those roads loaded, even to the point now, man, that you can pick a different way. It knows where traffic is.
Different routes,
There's been an accident.
You avoid tolls.
Yeah, avoid tolls, fastest way. It's gotten pretty sophisticated.
Yeah, I like what you said last time, too, where, you brought up the idea that we're in this map, we are the middle of it. Our heart is central to this story.
Yeah.
And so in that maps are very helpful, but if you don't know where you are on it, they're pretty useless, actually.
Right.
If you can't orient yourself to like, okay, I'm in this spot and I need to get to that spot, so this is my route, then you can't use a map unless you know where you're at.
Yeah, I remember in some of my even training when I didn't get as far as Eagle Scout or anything like that, but we had to use compasses and maps.
Did you see my beret and my skill awards back there? I mean, it's a life scout. Sorry to distract, but go ahead.
But to have a compass and to get your bearings,
orienteering,
to know that the sun comes up, this is east and sets in the west, and what time of day, all of those things can be really, really, before we got so technology filled with our, our little handhelds.
Some would say dependent.
Dependent.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're wonderful.
Yeah.
But, if you don't have that, could you find your way home or find your way to safety? And that's tricky. I mean, I've been in the woods without some of these modern technological things. And yeah, I've been lost and gotten loster till I finally came out on a road that I still didn't know where I was until I could ask somebody, and it's just an embarrassing question, when you're like,
where am I?
Where am I? Whose farm is this? I mean, you figure you're trespassing, but just because when I was younger, I did a little bit of hunting and scouting and stuff like that, but just got turned around.
Same.
And dude. Turned around. And
yeah, man. I didn't find a road. I found a stream.
Oh.
And thought, well, if I can follow this little stream down, maybe it'll lead to something.
Right. And so the hero's journey that we're all on is taking place in a story and on a landscape that, not everything is what it seems. There are creatures in our story that will pretend to be your friend and your guide. I mean, we see this in all the Disney classics, right? Why she bites the apple from, some haggard looking, it's a witch, don't eat it,
right.
Or, Pinocchio runs away.
Scar and the Lion King.
I mean, it's just over and over and over are these good versus evil. And, Disney's built an empire on good versus evil.
Some of those were scary.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Pinocchio? They turned the little boys into donkeys? That terrified me.
Well, the one that scared the crap out of me was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
What do you mean?
Dick Van... Oh, this guy drives up in the center of a square. All the children are hiding. And he drives up in the center of a square, and he pretends to be the ice cream man, basically. The candy man.
I don't
Where
remember
are
this at all.
you, little children?
Oh
I've got snacks and sweeties. I mean,
they all come running out.
And here come, the two kids that he's trying to capture. And, as soon as they it's right in here.
I have all I know is remember of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is that stupid song that gets in your head.
It'll scar you. It will scar you. So, we were talking about this the other day. My kids were still like, Dad, why did you have us watch The Secret of NIMH? Why did you make us watch that?
The Black Cauldron.
Oh, some of those cartoons, are scary.
Leave a comment with the one that traumatized you as a child.
Oh, yeah. Wizard of Oz. Come on, little monkeys flying in, picking up.
Oh yeah.
Even oh my gosh, that was horrifying.
So
So
knowing where you are in the story,
let me find this. Let me
the
find
power
my
and
way
authority
back.
that you have is important.
Yeah, this works us all the way back before the break to this reality that, there's a lot more going on in this story. There are creatures. I think of Narnia and the White Witch. Edmund and Peter and Susan. They don't know who they are in that story, and they don't know the landscape and how it works. So Edmund, the whole Turkish delight thing is Edmund cozying up to the queen, who's luring her into her sleigh, and
no thought whatsoever. He
Lucy,
just wants what he wants.
Lucy,
when he wants
who
it.
originally kind of goes through the wardrobe and meets Mr. Tumnus, and the fawn turns him in, for fear of what the White Witch will do to him. I mean, these stories have and draw their power from the larger story that we're exploring through what we created a little while ago. 15 some years ago, about this map, about goodness and light and darkness, and the things that are for us and the things that are against us. And so we're going to hit our second episode on this, get a little deeper dive into different elements of it, and have our next conversation on the Exploring More podcast. We'll be right back in just a second.
Every great adventure starts with preparation, a place to gather, rest, and equip ourselves for the journey ahead. In the same way, Zoweh's Base Camp is here for you, an online resource library created to encourage and strengthen Zoweh allies on the road to deeper connection, healing, and restoration. A base camp is a staging ground, a place to prepare for the next leg of your expedition. At Zoweh, Base Camp is a resource library designed to help you and our allies gear up for the journey of the heart. It is packed with devotionals, discussion guides, and podcasts to help you deepen your relationship with God and one another. When you visit Base Camp, you'll find a growing collection of resources, each crafted to guide you and the men in your circles on your walk with God. Each series that you find below includes a devotion plan with supplemental video content from the Explore More podcast. The devotionals are designed for both personal reflection and small group discussions, helping you dig deeper into God's truth while building meaningful relationships. On the Base Camp website, you will see the various series that we have available. When you click on a series, you'll have the opportunity to download the PDF devotion plan and the discussion guide questions. This also includes an invitation to reflect in time alone with God. Share the plan with your small group and send out the podcast videos for members to watch on their own time. Then, when you gather, dive into conversations about what God is revealing to each of you. Base Camp is more than a resource library. It's a tool for building redemptive brotherhood on the road to experiencing more life, more love, and freedom with God. Start your journey today, explore Base Camp, and reach out to us at allies@zoweh.org if you have any further questions.
Welcome back to the Exploring More podcast. Michael Thompson, SJ Jennings, talking about the larger story that our story's in. And before we kind of hit, just kind of pop around
before we
map.
get into the regions.
Yeah,
right?
I wanted to. You said something. I think it was the first episode about, and we've said this many times, and from the stage and in circles, that there's a way things work.
Yep.
There's a way a car works. There's a way a ceiling fan works. We talked about the periodic table and the molecular levels of hydrogen and oxygen and
we were just in
carbon.
Maine, the tides coming in and out, right?
Unbelievable. Like the tides there were at least 10, 15 feet.
This little
it looked like
inlet.
somebody drained.
Somebody
the
pulled
inlet.
the plug.
It literally looked like somebody drained the inlet.
It went from looking like you were next to a lake almost, because it was just flat, calm, and then it just emptied out.
Yeah.
And wild.
If you're not taught properly, it's kind of like, what's causing that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it. What's causing that? What's happening?
Yeah, and if you're out on a kayak and you don't know,
You're stranded.
You're sitting in a kayak for about
out, or worse,
yeah, sucked out
out to sea.
Yeah,
we saw some tides that weren't like that were actually coming in and hitting the cliffs, and the big spray.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't. There was probably a time during the day that you could be out in that water beyond those rocks.
Yeah.
But a few hours later, you're pancaked, you're toast,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's just a way things work, SJ. And I think that that's very, very helpful to keep here with us. So anyway, what made me think of this a little bit is there's also an evolution of the way things work. And I think when you're little, what's supposed to happen is the authority figures around you are supposed to protect you from certain things.
Yeah.
And how they work. I've seen some great videos of dad saves, when they.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, that kid doesn't know any more about gravity in the moment that he was on the couch and that he even got rescued from it. He doesn't even know.
Yeah.
So my point is, but at some point, it's, honey, get down.
Mm-hmm.
You can't walk across the back of the couch, and then
or dad's not there and you bonk your head
and yet some of those are some of the greatest lessons.
Oh yeah.
And greatest teachers. Mm-hmm. So there's an evolution to this that we should be learning as we become older, how certain things work.
Yeah.
Our friend Patrick, his son Noah, he was putting together hard drives and putting together computers when he was 12 and 13. I can't do that.
Yeah.
You can take an engine apart.
Yeah.
And put it back together. I can't do
that. And have it run. Yeah. Most of the time. Sometimes there's extra parts on the workbench.
So to have a knowledge of how certain things work and how they function properly, this is very, very valuable in the way. There's a way relationships work. There's a way conversations should go. And I was thinking about this example of even now, right now, the Little League World Series is just finished, and we've got these young guys, little guys, boys playing, and man, the stakes are high, and
at 12,
and when the pitcher throws another one, because these kids, they walk a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Even these are the 12-year-olds who can pitch for sure. But they're still walks, pass balls, and walk in a run, walk in the losing run. And you've got a bunch of boys just in tears, crying.
It's brutal.
It's hard to watch because they feel it so particularly, right? And I'm not saying that in the World Series, the guys who lose, maybe they find their locker room and the tears find them there. But there's an evolution to it. There's a perspective about it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a way that it's played even at elementary levels where, boys and girls are learning gymnastics. If you can just do a somersault and stand up, everybody claps. It's great.
I learned the fundamentals of baseball by playing kickball. Remember kickball?
Yeah.
When you're like
the bases,
first and second grade? Yeah. Hit the ball, run to the base.
Yep.
Tag a guy out.
That's great. There's some similarities. But I was thinking about the Olympic.
An early version of
the girls who do Olympic gymnastics, they're 14.
Yeah.
Flying around.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
You watch little kids play soccer, it's kind of mob ball. But as they get older, the game changes and shifts. And unlike in the larger story, if your skills don't evolve with it, the game leaves you.
Right.
You don't make the teams anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Because not everybody who comes out in the rec league gets to play, and the rec leagues go away about 7th and 8th grade.
I think too, another way to think about that, and to your point, is guys and gals that took Spanish or French or some other language in high school, 2 years, 4 years of it, whatever it is, as soon as you stop those classes, if you're not still speaking it every day, our French teacher made us speak French in the class once we were able to do it.
I could go on and on.
Once you stop, it's gone.
You could go on and on and on
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
If you don't continue to work out and you have more intake than output, there's a result. There's a way things work.
That's right.
And then there's some bodies that it works differently in anyway altogether with metabolisms and stuff like that. So, that's what we're talking about, is that there's a way that the spiritual and physical realm intersect in the way that they work. And it is to your advantage to know a thing or two about how that works.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing this this opening season episode. I think we've got 6 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring one more up that I think is really, really important. And the scriptures all talk about this, and we will be getting into a lot of the biblical evidence for all of this. But I was thinking, SJ, about these upgrades and these increases and these evolutions of things, particularly in sports or athletics. Piano, you talked about, learning a language. The upkeep and the practice.
You took piano lessons, didn't you?
Yeah, and I
and
can't.
And you just got to where you could play with 2 hands.
And now I can't play a lick.
Yeah.
And wish I could,
Mm-hmm.
or guitar, but wishing you could and putting in the effort to be able to are 2 very, 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 very different things. And so the one evolution that I think is really worth mentioning here as we get into some components here is the evolution from an old covenant to a new covenant.
Right. First Adam, second Adam, old covenant, new covenant.
The
map used to look very different than it does now. Right.
Yeah. Jesus didn't come, to somehow sell or arrange for the old covenant to the new covenant. He was the old covenant to the new covenant. He was the marker. He was the one who, brought in.
Yeah, wasn't new and improved.
Very new and improved. And it's a beautiful thing in the early chapters of Matthew 5 and 6. He's not coming to abolish the law. He's coming to upgrade. He's coming to
and fulfill.
Yeah. He's coming to make a statement and a presence on how this has worked. Literally, it's this. How this has worked in the past. We're coming in with something new. Because the thing still needs to be treated and taken care of, and that is the sin of man. But instead of a sheep or an oxen, like John the Baptist says, look right there, the Lamb of God.
Yeah,
the Lamb of God. So this sacrificial system is going away as it's being fulfilled. Good word, fulfilled by the Lamb of God, in order to change the game and evolve the game to where power and authority is going to be redistributed again.
Yeah.
So that this whole thing is about having power and authority. And so the first Adam, like you brought up, loses the keys, we'll say, to the kingdom. And Satan, he and his dark kingdom, he then possesses these. You see this in Jesus in the temptation in the wilderness, just the couple that is mentioned, because he's there for 40 days. So I have it on good guesstimation that there was a lot more of tussling and debating and conversation, but we get these. We get the ones that we get. And it's, if you are the Son of God, if you are the Son of God, turn these stones into bread. Jump from here. Nothing will happen to you, right?
I'll give you all the lands you can see.
And the last one
yeah.
is, and I'll give you, if you worship me, because he's established that if you are the Son of God, if you are the Son of God, I think in the technical back and forth of between Satan and Jesus, Satan goes, okay, I think this is the guy. Whether he knew it or not, maybe he knew it. Maybe he's trying to find out if Jesus knew it. I mean, the line of questioning has lots of potential inference.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are the Son of God, if you are the Son of God. So Jesus handles those pretty directly. So that begs the third question. Well, if you'll worship me, I think Satan at that moment is saying, yeah, I think you are who you say you are.
Yeah. So this
And
is
if
my Hail
last
Mary.
this is my last offer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you'll do this, I'll give you the keys to the kingdom. And it's just so interesting what Jesus doesn't do. And I don't want to get too out there with my conclusion, but there's always based on what you did do or what you didn't do, what you should have done. I mean, that's when we were kids, that's what we often got punished for is what you didn't do,
right?
What you should have said,
yeah, right.
You know, what you got in trouble for.
Yeah.
So in that moment, Jesus doesn't say, well, that's not yours to give, or, hey, you know, who are you kidding? You don't have those.
Mm-hmm.
He says, no, I'm not doing that. And here's my big parentheses. I'm going to take these keys back another way.
Mm-hmm.
Then the end of that chapter, the phrase says, and then Satan left him for a more opportune time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit alarming, disturbing.
Right.
I thought Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ had one of the more darker, yuckier Satan figures. Remember, he's holding that little baby man.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
just this antichrist kind of play. You know, we haven't fully seen all this in The Chosen yet. It's going to be really interesting how they play this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is about power and authority. And if you don't know how the battle and how the war works, what it's over, then you will definitely struggle against an enemy who does know how it works, is absolutely capitalizing into opportunistic times and trying to infiltrate the deep recesses of your heart where beliefs are held, perspectives are filed, and attitudes are kept. So that we say this all the time. What are the odds you've interpreted your life accurately?
Every time somebody hears that for the first time, they kind of chuckle like, "What, are you kidding me?"
It's
zero.
It's one of the more beautiful questions I've ever come up with at the beginning of our conferences, because it's a unanimous, and it lends itself. Okay, if you've just confessed that,
right,
then you're in the right room.
Yeah,
because that's part of what we want to explore. What have you believed that isn't true, or better is false, or even better is just an all-out lie?
Yeah,
about you, about God, or about others. That's what we're after. We're talking about that. So this.
Right.
Any traveler can get on this road, but it is actually more intimate and personal. Your path on this, your mom and dad, your grandparents versus mine, and what the experiences were when you had a basketball experience at 6th or 7th grade that had you, I'm not playing this ever again. There's more.
And I'll never let anyone know I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That's me going the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not bad at this. I'm going to get really good at this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the rejection has its.
I get the attaboys.
The rejection has its unfortunate payments, but so does the excelling.
Oh yeah.
Now your identity is connected and wrapped up to. If I'm good at this, people clap. If I'm able to get really good at this, maybe I can become somebody really special.
So it's an interesting concept that you bring up, because I'm not sure we've ever talked about it this way before, but the in the context of the map, typically we think of a map as fairly rigid. If you looked at a map of our region of North Carolina, there's Interstate 40, there's Interstate 85, there's this route, that route. Those roads are there. Now, you might choose to get to my house, which is, in your opinion, all the way in Virginia. But if you if you would choose to get to my house one route, I might choose a different route to get there.
Yeah.
But what's interesting too in this context of the larger story and the map that we're talking about, we end up taking different routes, but we still in the same way end up in much the same destination. Right. So
predicament maybe.
Or predicament, yeah, is a good way to say it. But the way we get there is a little bit different. And it's not rigid either. Like, I think the enemy knows this map, knows the scripture. We read that in scripture, that they know them, and understands with context that we're in oftentimes better than we do. And so they'll meet us along the road and kind of, no, you want to take this road and go this way and all of that. So if you have an understanding of how this works and how the map works, you can say, no, I'm not going that way, like Jesus did, right? I'm not buying into that. That I know where that road goes. Matter of fact, I've been down that road before. I'm not doing it again. You son of a gun. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to the map, Andy's going to put the link up on the screen here and in the show notes. It's zoweh.org/map. Zoweh.org/map. Okay.
/map.
Yep. Zoweh.org/map. And that will get you a digital copy of this. If you want, reach out to us, Exploring More at Zoweh.org. We'll mail you one. We've got paper ones.
Yeah, you can order. I think you can order them online.
Send us an email. Yeah, it's taken us an episode and a half, but to explain it some, at a high level, Michael, can we just hit the different I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But Holy Trinity, Unholy Trinity.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So
I have to move my boat so I can see.
A little bit of an insider commentary right now would be there aren't just roads and what would I say, landscape to this. This is actually includes characters. This map has characters. So you see the unholy trinity over here, Satan, the world, and the flesh, or as we say often, the false self. And the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So there's characters in and on this landscape. If you had some ancient map of Ireland or England, you would have castles on it,
and the clans or the families that own those lands. Yeah,
mm-hmm. There would be characters that would occupy those spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So, in many ways, this is this intersection that we talked about between the physical realm and the spiritual realm, that it's all happening. And when you can pull it apart like this to kind of see the characters and some of the ways they work, it's actually pulled apart for that reason. It's almost like you're looking at a cross cut. If you know architecture or drawing design, the house looks like something from the outside, but if you cross-section that thing, take that roof off, now you see
the floor
plan.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Then you do the second floor. First, you see the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Then you cross-section it. Looking at the house, you see the footers and the foundation and all those things. So trying to put a lot of those drawings together in one, so that people wouldn't have to flip around and stuff. That's part of, I just want to say that's part of the backstory and the backdrop of these components, these characters, and how they work. And so, this is the larger story. It's about life. It's about freedom. It's about restoration. The story is moving. We just mentioned the first coming of Jesus. There's a second coming.
Mm-hmm.
So this is predominantly where we are now, the Middle Earth, the middle
Yeah, and when
chapters
he
of the
returns,
story.
that would be fun to talk about. Maybe at the
Final episode.
right,
Yeah.
right. Like, what's the map going to look like
then,
when he comes back?
When half of the characters of the map are gone.
They're thwarted. Yeah.
When you talk about all things new.
Mm-hmm.
In Revelation, he's going to make all things new. I mean,
that's
it's beautiful.
A fun idea to talk
it's awesome. So those are just, I want to say, these characters, and even to the point, it's worth making. These aren't distant or far away or even muted. It's not like they're talking, or speaking or revealing or working in ways that aren't actually playing out in our current reality.
Yeah, we like to think of it as like if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, as far as Mount Doom is from the Shire, we like to think of it as with having all that separation, and it's this long journey to where evil sleeps. Yeah. Well, no, they're right here.
Yeah. So, yeah,
so is the Holy Trinity.
Yeah, and so you've got scripture that Jesus is actually letting us in on the fact that there are. In the Old Testament as well, Daniel and that these fallen angels, a third of the heavenly host, Satan takes with him. Some estimate that to be, millions and millions of characters that are fallen, and 2/3 are still in the company of the kingdom of God. Yeah, that's a whole lot going on right there. And they're in a conflict. They're in a war. Revelation lends itself to understanding that Satan has been cast down and goes to war against the sons and daughters of God.
Yeah.
And we'll clean that up a bunch a little bit later. I don't want to get off too much in the theological realities of this. But
right. I like how you're chained. The kingdom of darkness wants your heart bound.
Yeah, bondage.
And the kingdom of light it breaks those bondages. Yeah. Whatever that bondage looks like for you. And one of the most important things to me on this map is that what it says right in the middle there, what you believe matters. It has authority in your life. Right.
Yeah.
Because this is all about power and authority.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's definitely about power and authority. If you, and what you believe, if I could put anything on that map just above in that little crack between citizenship and what you believe, it would be, what happened to you? What is your experience? Because you're interpreting things, especially in those formative years as a boy and a girl, you're forming ideas and opinions and beliefs, very, very powerful things.
We just mentioned two of them really quickly.
Right.
Like I'll never let someone know that I don't know what I'm talking about. From there, and then I'll always perform well.
I'm going to practice this every day.
He's going to take 1,000 shot. I'm going to take 2,000.
Yeah.
So I think that, in between there is the events of our lives that have taken place. That is the groundwork. That's the timeline. That's the place that what you believe and how you came to believe it mattered. Mm-hmm. And so, the boy that was picked on or bullied and couldn't and wouldn't tell his mom or dad, didn't have anybody to advocate for him, didn't have anybody to stand up for him. I mean, he learns at way too young an age that I'm on my own.
Yeah.
So back to the roadmap, what's a kid going to do? But I'm going to take another way to school. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take another hallway to not confront at least what we're depicting in that story. Because you've come to believe if you encounter that kid, you're going to, and it's been reinforced by a punch or a humiliation or being knocked down. I mean, of course.
Yeah. We're coming towards Christmas. I'm thinking of A Christmas Story. Scott Farkas, remember? Bully. But yeah, man. I mean, you reroute things to avoid
So where's that little guy go when that gets reinforced by an enemy that's looking for another opportune time to say, see what happens when you try, and so, hey, we make movies out of this stuff all day, every day.
Oh yeah.
And they are coming of age movies. They are
awakening movies.
I just saw to watch it just the other day. I'm just going to mention this. Stand By Me.
I haven't watched it in a while.
I forgot how brutal that story is of the two boys. The boys are going to look. There's the older kids, Kiefer Sutherland, but there's the boys that are going to look for this dead body. And there's some really sweet, they're 10 or 11 boyhood stuff. But they both get into their backstories.
Yep.
Of their their families, their dads, yes, yeah, all of them.
The kid who is, they think he's crazy, and it's his, I'm going to storm the beaches Normandy, and I mean, because now his dad's, it's
PTSD, all that, yeah. So
it's brutal, man.
So
it's brutal.
I parked it right there to say, things that happened to you mattered, and yet what you've come to believe about yourself, that carries a weight and a significance it has authority in your life. And so you're either going to try in your programming to prove that that's not true, or you're going to try to avoid people finding out how true it is. Mm-hmm. Both of those are just not good.
Not good. Not good.
And so
leads to false self, guilt, shame, fear, control.
Those are the motivators now, right? Those are the, and ultimately, you're talking about
and we're talking about this side, right? Yeah. That's what it leads to.
And the power of, even when something difficult or bad happens, if there's nobody there to help you interpret it, and to in kindness share with you what that really means. Like, well, Scotty, those boys shouldn't have done that to you. Those older boys shouldn't have done that to you on the playground. But 2, I am so sorry I didn't teach you how to. Let's go play. I can teach you how to play this game.
I didn't know you wanted to play.
I didn't. Yeah. I mean, all of a sudden, that reclaims even that moment that could have led a boy or girl into who knows what particular path in which they're gonna. And same thing with me. If somebody would have come along and said, hey, love your enthusiasm for this game, love how important it is to you, you're still,
it's not the most important thing
you're still awesome.
Yeah.
If you never played again, I mean, it would have been so hard to get that through the concrete that I had, kind of built my athletic goals under. But I think it's important that we went that way, and we can sure talk about the passages and theology and scriptures in there. But, I mean, I love, one of the clips we used to show was The Little Princess. And that scene where the headmistress is absolutely drilling her. She's already the money has stopped coming in for Sarah Crew, and her tuition. So instead of throwing her on the street, the headmistress, who's pretty jealous of Sarah anyway, and the anointing on Sarah, she relegates Sarah to be another one of the little cleaning.
Banishes her to the attic.
Well, she's so anointed that the other girls, and they love her, that the other girls find their way to the attic for story time, and for Sarah to display her gift of encouragement and goodness. So the headmistress breaks in, finds them all in there. I mean, they scatter, and she starts handing out, with her voice, and handing out punishment, and everybody back to bed. So then comes the lecture, where she says, basically, you fancy yourself a princess still? She says, good God, girl, look at yourself.
Look at the mirror.
Look in the mirror. It's
brutal.
And then she says, do you hear what I'm saying to you? Do you understand me? And then little Sarah Crew, I mean, just love the scene. She says, yeah, but I don't believe it. And then Sarah counters the hateful, spiteful, and jealous voice of the headmistress with, all girls are princesses. Even if they're this, even if they're that, even if they're this, even if they're that.
Didn't anyone tell you that? Oh my God.
Pierces the headmistress. So that's a great story for what you believe matters. And you know, having somebody believe in you and be an advocate for you, it is the most powerful influence in a boy and in a girl's life. And it should be mom and dad. It definitely should be grandparents.
Yeah.
You know, and so the good ones are able to kind of understand that from their story and make sure that, you know, because Sarah is coming from a place of what her dad told her.
Yeah.
That you are my princess.
Yeah.
You are my princess.
I think one of the most important things we can do with this map as we're landing the plane here on this second episode is just help people understand that, you know, we're not saying just crumple up the map that you've written yourself or was written for you or some combination thereof, both, and just throw it all away. But there's parts of the map that you've been on, the journey that you've been on, that you've misinterpreted, and they're based on lies and half-truths and things like that. So reinterpreting the map of your journey, of your life, through what's really true, right? A reinterpretation, a restoration is what we're hopeful for. That this will give you the orientation to be able to do that and take some of the lies that you've heard, lies you've been told about you, God, and other, and that you've believed, right? Yeah. And reinterpret them and set you free from some of them. Yeah.
And this is the journey, you know, the hero's journey. This is the restoration journey. This is the recovery journey. I mean, you know, there's just no way a little boy or girl decided, you know, when they were young, they wanted to grow up and have an addiction, you know, and so, or, be in some way the willing. I think about those who are in abusive situations and in abusive relationships and why they stay.
Yeah.
You know, and it's I don't want to be too general here. I want to be sensitive to the reality of that, but they don't believe they deserve any better. They don't believe they deserve anything different. They don't believe there's anything good out there, you know. And so to be compromised at a core level of your heart, this is the hard drive. This is where things are stored. This is the belief system is in there. And so that's why the heart can be deceitful. That's why the heart can be hard, but it's also why the heart can be good and noble.
Yeah.
And so as Jesus comes in to our hearts, as we throw that term around or that phrase around, or as we become awake.
Yeah.
As we become awake to the reality that God does love us. And if he does, you're subtly saying, well, there must be something lovable about me.
Mm-hmm.
And to give into that is the beginning of the refiling and the redecorating as we step into a new stage and a new place to redecorate these places of our hearts that have long been occupied by the cancerous, infectious, we were talking about this the other day, the plaque in the arteries, you know.
Yeah.
And
slowly
so
builds up over time.
The physical realm is inviting us to see a whole lot more of the spiritual realm, that there can be a plaque that builds up. There can be heart disease, especially if you ride hard and go hard and you know, as we take a break, what's that we say? Smoke them if you got them. You know, just this whole, yeah, man, you put enough of that together over time, it's going to have an effect. And that's not even talking about your family history.
Right.
That you step into with. That's the thing that every medical professional wants to know before they'll give you life insurance, before they'll treat you, before they'll put you under a microscope or
tell me about your
NMR.
parents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is the family history? Mm-hmm. And because they know there's a correlation between your DNA and their DNA and what you're prone to potentially be affected by or infected by. And so, goodness sakes, man, it's just funny. How obvious
it's all we're talking this physical realm things, and I mean there are parallels there.
Yeah, I mean
lots of them.
The likelihood of addiction in legacy and in families, divorce, the likelihood. These aren't just people who can't figure it out and get it straight. You know, these are creatures that are at work in that family to affect and influence. The words lure and tempt.
Yeah.
To lure them.
Like the guy with the candy van.
Yeah. So to get some of these creatures out of your family tree, out of the farm, to get them out of your children suffering or potentially suffering under their influence. What a great thing to do.
Well, and in order to do that, you need training and you need orientation.
And you need your own treatment.
That's right. Training, treatment, and orientation.
All of that.
That's so good, man. Really, really good.
And if you didn't get the good stuff that you should have, and your mom and dad are gone and you're 40 or 50 or 60, that the whole point of this is to point us to God.
Oh, I'm a walking, talking example of the fact that it's still available. My parents are gone.
Yeah.
And my dad for years, my mom 3 or 4 years ago now. So
to still be fathered, to still be mothered at in your, you're not 60 yet, but in your late 50s. Hallelujah, man. Mid.
That's not right.
Let's not get to 58. That's late.
Yeah. Speaking of time, I think we're out of it.
Okay.
For this one, but
it's a great question though to get some of these different components. And I think this subtitle, of Between Darkness and Light, it really is this in the spiritual realm that is so important. It's the love story that we're in that's set in the midst of this great battle.
No doubt.
If that alone is the only thing that just actually kind of anchors and makes sense, start there.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
how's this looked in my how's my life been a battle?
Yeah, how do the paragraphs of your life fit under that heading?
Yeah, what have I battled with, and what battles have I found myself in the midst of?
We talked about it in the listening, in the hearing God's voice. If you think every voice is your own,
right,
then this should be a huge relief. This map to start to say that luring and tempting have a voice, lies sound like something and feel like something. Guilt, shame, and fear. This leads to guilt, shame, fear. These have a voice. I mean,
there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on in the room.
There's a lot going on. We need a map to navigate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Yeah, it's been good, man. It's going to keep getting better, I think.
Yeah, I can't.
Good stuff.
To unpack some more of the real teachings of Jesus on this, the theological realities of this. To go after our Bible believing friends and invite others to kind of see what the scriptures say about this. I'll close with Ephesians 5. 6, therefore be careful how you live, not as unwise men, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil.
Agreed.
If that is still true, then we need to know our way around. We need to know our way around.
Yeah, it's just to circle back from the beginning. We know the days are still evil. So
look around, right?
Look around.
That's
exactly
every news
right.
report every day.
The link for the map, for the digital version of it, zoweh.org/map. Should be able to click the link down below, and we'll see you the next time.
See you next time on the Exploring More podcast.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Exploring More. The landing page for this podcast is zoweh.org/podcast. That's ZOWEH.org/podcast, where you can find the show notes and various platforms to which we broadcast. You can also find us and the Life of More by visiting Zoweh on YouVersion Bible app, Right Now Media, our Facebook page, and Zoweh on Instagram and Twitter. Remember, with God there is always more, and you were made for more.